Fnatic worked that out. They countered it straight away. So I think we are ready to get underway almost into that second map.
Yeah, I think teams just loading in real quick. We'll have a restart in just a few seconds to get things going. I'm not even going to say these teams are on these sides because I was lied to in the past by the game, but...
I've been hurt before.
I've been hurt. You can only break my heart 5 times before I start carrying. Or stop carrying anymore. That totally just did not sound like it's supposed to. Anyways, but Operation Locker. We've seen Fnatic play it twice now so far. They lost to Epsilon on the first time they played it, 95-92. We saw Operation Locker played once by Danitas and UMAV, where UMAV came out ahead 103-0. And then we saw Fnatic play it again today versus Gamers Connection, where they went, I will find it, 71-0. So a lot of these maps have gone really one-sided. Or sorry, a lot of these games have been really one-sided on this map.
Yeah, no, I tend to agree, but I don't know. I think MYM have something to really bring up here. I think they can really do something decent on this. I'm looking forward to it at least.
Okay. Well, we'll find out very shortly. I'm not sure how long of the break these two teams are taking. But I think we can WOT for a little bit.
We can. We can kind of explain some of the defining factors on this map, at least. It's more the fact of that mid-hold and how they do it.
Let's do my awesome free cam skills.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Which one is it? Let's go with this one. Ah, yeah. Oh, nope. Can't go through walls.
Alright, you can explain.
No, go ahead.
No,
This is the mid section you're talking about.
Explain.
This is the mid section you're talking. I'm just giving you the visual control.
Great camera
We'll go back
angles.
to that. We'll go back to that.
You have the best camera angles, man. You know.
I feel like I should have been a director.
Just for the in-game camera shots?
Yeah. I don't know. If I could do it a lot more, I'd make it like more action-packed, you know, switching out within the sites. But we can. I know there's one thing we can discuss because we've seen Fnatic play on this so many times so far, is that when they are on the Russian side, which they currently will be, they send everyone towards A and B. They don't send anyone outside towards C. When they're on the other side for the United States, they send pretty much everyone towards B and A, but they send one man out towards C. It's kind of a little bit different in their style. That's what they've been doing in the course of today and yesterday. And I wonder if they're going to stick with that plan, or maybe knowing Meet Your Makers as probably one of their most often practice partners, maybe go for something different.
Now, I do want to point out, someone actually mentioned the airstrike thing there. If you do know enemy territory and you do know Winghaven for more than a week, you'll know what I meant. But still, let's get ready for the game because we are 5 seconds away from getting live here. And as you said, I'm really curious to see what they go for here because Fnatic do have their own real style to this, and I'm very interested to see what they go for off the bat.
So they're a little bit different here. They're actually sending 3 into A and 2 up towards C. So they want to be able to control or contest a little bit what Meet Your Maker's doing. But Meet Your Maker's doing for a 2-2-1 here, and Wafi will be that man floating. So we'll stick with him for just a little bit here, just to see what he makes happen for his team. Run up the bat. Not really going to get the kill anymore. Getting a grenade in his face for those troubles, but we will see Meet Your Maker's gain control of C.
Yeah, and that could spell trouble. Normally Fnatic have the advantage at this point, but still they're going to have to play from the baseline again. Value does pick up the kill onto Wafi there, so already starting to work down towards the B side, but if they can actually claim it here. He's going to be doing a bit of a one-man battle mode. Oh, grenades being exchanged are really taking him low. Going to be loving that med pack being in place this time. Unfix has done the damage, but still, he's being hold where he is. You know, the MYM side, they've got the advantage, but they're still playing quite defensively.
They are, and this is the first time I've actually seen a team take advantage this early on against Fnatic, and it's quite surprising to see that Meet Your Makers are doing it considering Fnatic chose this map, but we do see a little bit of a flank come in there, and we do see a kill come in Fnatic. I'm trying to click that man, but I can't get him. But we will see too easy here as well, watching the backspawn a little bit. Looks like they're going to finally go for a hit on a B, and they already have C capped outside, so they're trying to go for a tri-cap here. And Meet Your Makers, they need to respawn with a cap on an A, but Mort, he's behind him. He can make some real damage happen.
Yeah, he certainly can. Already doing that onto Wafi. He knows there's going to be another player around here. He's got to know that site is being capped out, so that's going to be ringing alarm bells, but they've already got that 2-to-1 hold, so maybe allow them to have a, maybe not challenge like that, and, you know, just work it out and get set up, because it's not been that slowed down game yet. They haven't been completely able to control the pace.
And Val, I like the little play you just pulled off right there. He was sitting currently in the area of just ahead of this, but actually backed away, realizing he was waiting for his team to respawn. Gets one kill, doesn't get the second. Winghaven does get the respawn in there, might even get the revive on him. On top of that, they do in fact get it. They have cleared out A. Punch is in there, and he's not going to survive for too much longer. He goes down, and just like that, they will maintain control of A. However, C was taken in the process by Meet Your Makers.
Yeah, it's all swings and roundabouts at the moment, and, well, MYM focusing down on that B side, so looking to try and gain control, but it's all about them kind of keeping the advantage, and, well, MYM have now got that 2-to-1, and they can be happy with this, but still, there's so many, you know, random occurrences. We've got 2 players right by the back of B here. It's so sporadic. No team's been able to settle down, hence why the points are so damn close here, because it's an immediate exchange. Unfix is just playing it smart. He knows that they're going to have a happy B spawn if they need it because he's so far back, but they've already been able to get A and C, so he's just going to fall back, play it smart, maybe, you know, tease them out by drawing them back to B because he did get a little bit of a cap underway, but he needs to lock down mid.
Oh, he does get taken down, though, and you see the distraction he caused. You see Punch goes back there just to check on B because he saw it being capped over. Valor there is as well just kind of playing a little, kind of like a too easy role. He's picking up kills towards middle. He's going straight ahead, straight to, well, head-to-head, if that's the word I'm looking for, against S8F. And he actually does, unfortunately, die right there, but it's a little bit of a weird game, I have to say, because like you mentioned, like there's a couple spawns happening here for both these teams. They were just duking it out. Now everyone's just really spread out on the side of Fnatic, which is very different than what we normally see. But here's a two-man hit squad on Meechmakers coming in towards A, and a two-man hit squad coming in towards middle as well.
Yeah, it is a really sloppy game at the moment, but right now it seems that maybe Fnatic are finding their, you know, feet a little bit quicker, but not by a long shot. They've had a 2-to-1 hold, you know, more times than MYM, but it's certainly not been pretty like we've seen before. They haven't got, you know, that mid control they had last time. Winghaven's still doing the damage outside, so he's within his normal role, but he's in a 2-to-1. They've got the mid section, but not completely. His team were kind of there, so he's probably going to be screaming at Too Easy going, why the hell was that not covered, and why the hell did I die there? Because in theory, he should have had that one, but they're going to go for B instead. They're going to keep this one under control for now, at least, but they know it's going to be contested because they aren't controlling the rest of the map.
Wow, and they don't, unfortunately, lock that site down, and now Fnatic looking very dire here. We do have a 1-1 currently, with B finally being transitioned over. 2-to-1 in favor of Meechmakers, but they still are behind in tickets. And look at this, Too Easy floating around a little bit here, looking for a couple kills, gets taken down. And they are just shutting Too Easy down so well. They did it in the first map on Storm, and they're doing it yet again here.
Yeah, it's certainly looking a little bit like before. Interesting little gun he's running with there. A bit of a difference compared to the usual, or at least the others. Going for the AEK, very close range map. It's fairly logical, don't get me wrong, but you know, he's a bit of a lone wolf on that front, so Value will be the guy tucked in on site. Nate will come rolling out. How the hell did he survive that? I would never know. That medkit being placed probably did just keep him alive for a couple more seconds, but A is not going to be easily picked up. But still, they've got C, they've got B, they can be happy here.
And you see this line kind of spreading out between both teams, and Unfix, I believe that is Winghaven, trying to make a push onto C here, but that's going to be very difficult to do when they've already been established at this site for Meechmakers. But Alu gets the revive, but does get taken out just immediately. We have the respawns coming on top of Meechmakers here, but it doesn't matter. Unfix with the nice 2 kills right there does be able to lock down C. A is still being covered currently by the position of Too Easy. You can see anyone crossing over towards this line as well with the help of Mort, and they will get that 2 cap back in their favor.
That was so vital as well, because Too Easy wasn't even that close. He was downstairs on the kind of watch of the push up from B, so that was really good play coming in from these guys. Now Fnatic needs to be a little bit more careful because he knows where they're going to be coming from. A was going to be the side they were going to be targeting, but I think once again we're seeing a bit of an overreach coming out from the US side. You know, they only locked down to B. They kind of split up a bit. They weren't going in as a collective. Now Wappy's come back around to the kind of better side to be pushing from, because they knew Too Easy was down, and now they can start making that work towards A and maybe do a little bit of what we saw Fnatic doing on the first game we saw them in.
And only time's really going to tell here. I mean, the game's still relatively close, 74 tickets to 92, as we see Wappy try to go in towards that A side. Fortunately, he gets taken down right away. Can't make that one really happen, can't cover anything off of it, and you see the rest of Meechmakers, they're swarming this A site, but what will they lose out? Will we see a cap come in somewhere else? And right now, Unfix isn't really moving towards B just yet. I think with this call that they're seeing, with the hold actually that Fnac's been able to pull off, MYM can't even penetrate the defenses yet. No,
Value's still playing strong as usual. He can pick up Winghaven if he needs to, which he might have to do, but he's still under so much pressure. He doesn't really have much room to breathe, but he's taken down Waffy anyway. They can reset, respawn, and they're just not overcompensating here. They had faith in Reload to stand tall and do exactly what he's doing. They're picking up 2 right back to back and just holding on to these 2 sides. Beautiful play.
He pulled off a 1v4 here just earlier on against Gamers Connection, so we know from just watching him that you can't really get inside A on him, but right now we have a push on C happening at a Ducky Chat, and Too Easy here trying to stop it. He's not having a good time. He gets taken down. It looks like Meechmakers will be able to lock that one down. They will be able to retain that site, but Punch going back to potentially defend onto B here. Reason that might be the cap that Fnatic might go for. Just about Winghaven here does get the kill onto him. And maybe they can actually just no enough Fnatic even alive to stop it.
Yeah, MYM overextended their resources towards C then, but Fnatic didn't counter that straight away, and that's how we're seeing, you know, all these kind of sites being picked up by MYM. They're going to be able to pick up this A side. There's going to be a counter possibly towards B, but, you know, it's not ideal, but it's still MYM picking up. This could be a tri-cap.
They are, in fact, going to get it. But eventually it's going to happen. No, S8F, there's a man there, Unfix, trying to stop him. Unfix does get the kill, so that might have stopped the tri-cap from coming in, and they might even get C on top of that. So, in the end, Fnatic looking terrible for a second right there. Pull that went back on the back of Unfixed. and stop that tri-cap, and in fact, actually get the cap lead back in their favor.
Yeah, and then they kind of need to do that. They, as you mentioned, they got a little bit sloppy then. They didn't already estimate the play coming out. So this time they kind of fixed that, immediately kind of slapping the around the back of the head saying, guys, come on, don't lose focus now. We need to stay as focused as possible. And too easy and co, mopping up the outside area. They got overrun previously, but now they've kind of been able to slow it down, play calm. They have lost out on the more favorable side, let's say, reload, but he's doing just fine, really. He's just picking up kill after kill, and he knows they're here as well. That's the best part of this. He's so good at just predicting where players are going to be. He's found on the nade. He knows there's not going to be anyone in the site, so he can just push straight in, and he should be comfortable for a couple of seconds. So beautifully read going out from Fnatic, and especially Valu.
Wow, and they might get a tri-cap off this, but we do have one man, Winghaven, sitting back here being very calm, and he can get his team respawn top of him to actually stop this push on the B if they want to. He does get one kill, does get taken down, but is a distraction long enough that they have a 72-19 ticket lead, and Valu's playing flawlessly this game. 21-6, that just shows he's really stepped up for his team, and Too Easy, who has been so vital in them getting here to the grand finals, isn't having that great of a game.
Yeah, but this is where Valu can do the best in a situation that's very similar to the previous games he's been extraordinarily good at. His aim just becomes 10 times better than most. Exactly like that. The positioning through the doorway then, so he made sure he had the better aiming area to get in, and you get the less guns. It's so many small things that come into his aim that are just incredible, and it's just paid off perfectly. 2 tickets now remain for MYM. They know this is over. They've got a big amount of tickets to work down now in the second half here. 70 tickets. They're in a little bit of trouble. They
really are, and how do you stop that man Valu? That, I mean, that we can say, yeah, it was a great strategy by Fnatic, it was great rotations, but 25-6 Valu, he was a cornerstone in helping Fnatic win that game with such a big lead. I mean, his defense on A that we saw, just picking up, I think it was 3 or 4 kills by himself, and pretty much locking Metermakers out of it, and the smart play as well, backing back into the site. We saw right there, he knew they were all in that lower staircase, went straight into A, held it, switched it over, and locked it down. I mean, it's a lot about teamwork, but if someone's on fire like that, you need more than a hose to cool him down.
Yeah, Valu, on maps like this, in small maps like this, or at least small exchange maps, his aim from the last 6 years of playing games, if not more, just becomes 10 times better. And it's like, yes, there's been a lot of people playing games for a long time, but when you start coming into your own and you can out-aim 70% of people, you're going to be enjoying it.
I just want to point something out there. Valu had the same amount of kills as 3 members of Metermakers combined. Like, exactly, 25-25. Yep. Only one person Metermaker side actually got over 10 kills. That is very troubling, honestly, coming into this second half. I mean, this could be potentially the game for Fnatic winning the first cup in the EMS 1 series for Battlefield 4, and Metermakers have to do something about it. They will obviously be on the other side this time. They will be on the Russian side, and Fnatic will be on the US side, but Fnatic, I mean, they seem to have a perfect strategy made for Metermakers because they didn't do what they did before when they were playing against Gamers Connection, sending everyone through A towards B.
I can't wait to see this side. MYM have to go do something ridiculously special here. Maybe, completely cut him out of how they intend to focus them down, but switching up your entire tactics for one player is a huge thing to try and do. It could be game-breaking. They could lose even harder. So it's the choices they're going to make in these last 10 seconds are going to be defining of how this game ends. Are they going to play to negate Valu? Are they going to try and stick to the same but execute better? Their choices are going to be huge now, so let's see what they're going to be getting up to here, because 70 tickets is a lot to be playing with.
It really is, and right now Fnatic sending 2 men towards B, 3 towards outside, actually 2 towards outside. I believe that's Too Easy, always Too Easy, going towards middle, and you see MYM going for a little bit different, sending 1 man in A, watching for the push down middle with Ducky Chan with Wafi, and they're being a little bit more passive here than we've seen them prior.
Yeah, they are certainly. I'm trying to tell why. Maybe they're getting a little bit nervous after being absolutely spanked by Valu. But still, they've got, an okay start, but they already have a 2-1 against them, and Valu now still putting pressure on A. He's not allowing them to get that mid-hold, and it's being in Fnatic's favor, so they're holding that mid-line, and Too Easy is just being like the firing turret, so they can exchange here. 1 reloads, 1 backs up to heal, 1 backs away, 1 picks up the mantle. It's just perfect play, but we do see that random spawn coming for Ducky Chan, so I'd be very surprised if we don't see a push towards that A site very soon.
Yeah, he should be able to lock down B himself if he does pick up this kill. He's actually right behind him. He doesn't get the kill, but he finally picks that one up. But he makes his presence known, and that could be a bad sign. We could see the rest of Fnatic come back towards it, but no, they actually say, forget it. We're going to push towards A. We're going to lock that one, or we're actually not going to lock that one down. We're going to push towards somewhere potentially. I mean, they're only sitting on C right now. They're sitting at 2-man squad inside of A here. Too Easy picks up the 2 kills, looking to take this A flag over momentarily, but with the grenades that could come in from Metermakers or just the straight aim out of him, we'll be able to keep Metermakers off of it, and they will be able to cap A back over for themselves. And remember, guys, if Metermakers drop below 70 tickets, that will be game. We will have our first champion.
Yeah, and too easy is making it look too easy. They're down by that push towards the side. Now just allowing value to the idea that people may be trying to push him. That little bit of a nade tag's going to ring alarm bells to be going, okay, they're not pushing from the B alley. Am I going to be defensive or am I going to start pushing? He's gone for the aggressive play and maybe going to start looking towards that B push or just rotating around the side, which is what he's doing. He's picked up Waffy. He's going to call it too easy to say, okay, play a bit more defensively because we know their players coming here. So it's more on the side. He's going to be challenging out. Value has gone down, and that is a lovely bit of play coming in from MYM. Maybe they've got a chance towards that side.
Oh, too easy. Does get the one kill on a punch. Can he get the kill on a Ducky? This would be huge for him. He does get the headshot onto him. And if he can get to A quickly enough with the rest of his team spawn on top of him, they will be able to lock that one down and maintain it. But Meatmakers, in the meantime, have been able to grab it, have been able to get a 2-cap lead. Sorry, that is Fnatic getting a 2-cap lead. And Meatmakers unable to turn A over yet, just yet.
Not yet, but too easy. Does get a little bit caught out there, but the nades, my god, that was his saving grace. Finally, it's a 2-1 hold in favor to MYM, but he saw how many resources were put there from MYM. He's going, okay, I've got 21 HP, but solid, I'm going to go B and make sure we have that 2-1 cap because we know we've still got C, at least fairly for now, on lockdown, because the rest of the Fnatic were behind. They're in the midsection, but it's going to be a hard exchange here unless he can somehow get some backup.
And Ducky here is to pretty much turn this back over towards Meatmakers, but there's still a long way to go on that one. And they do lock that back down, so they do have that 2-cap advantage, but Fnatic, where are they going with this? It seems like they might be just regrouping inside their game plan here in just a few seconds as you even have Punch. Like, he's a little paranoid. He thinks someone's going to come from the backside. He wants to be able to defend against it. They don't know where the spawns are just yet, but with the fire already coming out now, they know where Fnatic is, and we see Meatmakers just falling.
Yeah, and they needed to hold this on for a little bit longer. They need to start those tickets draining against Fnatic, but it's not going to happen for too long because we are seeing Fnatic starting to look towards the B side. They have a good couple of players present, but they're not overly extending just yet. They want to work out where the enemy is, and we see already a counter cap on the A side. Here comes the B side. This could be a triple cap coming out here.
It could. Let's see if Meatmakers can stop it here. A and B both being turned over. A has been stopped over for Meatmakers. They haven't been able to maintain the control on that one, but they've also at the same time been able to maintain control of B, so they haven't lost those just yet. Unfixed looking for a shot or two here. Does get the kill on S8F after a little bit of time right there. But he hasn't been able to cap B over yet, and that's the most important part.
Yeah, but look how low the tickets are getting already. 97, they do not have long to go. And if they lock down this B side, they retain C, but they're not. You know, they need to start thinking ahead. You know, Fnatic know that MYM are very capable of turning this one around, and they're going to have the 2-1 in their favor again. Yeah,
and we see Meatmakers able to cap C on the outside, but Fix pushing in with his teammate, trying to go for a push on A here. 95 tickets remaining now in the hands of Meatmakers, and S8F gets one kill, looking for a second to get dropped very low, but isn't able to get the kill just yet. And we see Waffy does get taken down, I believe, by that was Value here. We see the back spawn coming in for Meatmakers and Fnatic. It seems like they're taking it very cautious. They realize, you know what, guys, we have a lot of tickets left. Let's just come up with a game plan, let's execute it, and let's just win this game.
Yeah, I think they suddenly realize, though, oh, we don't have C anymore to just keep that mid line, so we do see that 2 split down there. Players sitting up in those mountains for MYM, trying to lay down the fire from afar, but Unfix has managed to just about dart across, allowing Value to get some covering fire if he can get around the corner fast enough. So that should be going over, but they need to be able to keep hold of B as well. Value just getting aggressive here to push those points down even further, get right into the face of the opponent, because they'll be at that 2-1 advantage here.
And they have been able to maintain B just for a little bit longer. Mort is here to defend against it. And see if he's going to get the spot on S8F here in just a second to his left-hand side. B has been turned over to Meatmakers, though. He's going to get the shot onto him, gets the kill. But there is one more man there, I believe. Yes, it is Flax to help keep B on their side. And he sees more right there. He's just not able to get the shot off just yet.
Yeah, and he's fighting for everything he has. Too Easy's gone down, and Flax is doing the damage here. And they have to hold on to B because they're getting so low. 89 points to 82. Now, obviously, it looks a little bit worse than it is because you've got to bear in mind if MYM drop.
He just straight up left. He's like, all right, well, you know, we don't want B anymore, as they were capping it against him.
Yeah, and maybe A's the better choice, who knows. Well, we'll see how this one goes, because they've got that 2-1 hold. A is being lost, and A's the side they clearly want to be holding on to here, but it does seem as though Fnatic will be claiming this one, and as soon as Fnatic get a comfortable 2-1 hold, that means those tickets are going to start bleeding so heavily against MYM, and that is when the danger starts to become really apparent. Unfix does fall, so maybe MYM can still fight this one out, but they need a site damn quickly.
And it looks like they might make for a push onto A or even towards C. They have 3 men heading towards C currently, 2 towards A, and maybe even going for that tri-cap, going for that last man, that last stand here. As Punch making his way out here, will be able to get the cap. No, he actually gets killed here, and that actually might have just won the game over for Fnatic.
Yeah, we've got Flax doing what he can, but it's now about considering revives and everything. This is right down to the wire. They've got 2 points to play with pretty much. That's not a lot. Winghaven doing the counter cap back on out on C, making sure that's in their favor, but it's a 2-to-1 hold. And now if these guys can rally themselves together by that B point, it's going to be game over. 71 points remain for MYM. We could be finding out our first victors here. 69 points. There you have it, folks. Fnatic have walked away with the victory here. It was a close and hardcore game, but MYM just couldn't quite do it there.
Yeah, and it just, to me, it felt like both of these games were just sloppy. I don't know. It just, I mean, I think it's when it gets to the point of you play it, these two teams playing at such a high caliber, at such a high level, and they're both equal in skill, it gets a little bit messy. It comes down to the nitty-gritty part of the game where who can make the right calls at the right time. It's not about executing a plan. It's about executing at the current position.
Correct.
And Fnatic were able to pull that one off with, you know, pretty good style.
Yeah, they made it look good, or at least Value did by himself. They're too easy, and everyone else had their moments, don't get me wrong. I look back to Winghaven, who didn't have the best score, but on, Storm, he played really well.
The thing is, it wasn't his score that he did so well with. It was just his positioning and not dying. He was always in a good position to get respawns if they want to take a site, and he was always there to depend on to, like, stop a push coming in somewhere.
Yeah, and, it's so impressive to see these guys playing so well already. This is very early days for Battlefield still. It's not exactly the most set up scene yet, but Fnatic certainly are leading the way out of all the teams I've seen so far. MYM very much hot on their heels, as is Team Dingtas. There's so many others, UMAV getting very close, and even Epsilon as well.
Oh, yeah, too.
Took a map off them. It went to a third map there. So, teams are very close to these guys, but no one quite, that far ahead yet. But give it next cup, the one after, I wouldn't be surprised to see another team, knocking them out maybe, or even challenging a lot earlier.
Yeah, that's very true. And, Fnatic, with that victory, actually pull off 100 points, basically secure themselves. I'm pretty sure we can say they have secured themselves a spot in the group stages, but I'm sure they'll be playing, obviously, more in the future just to maintain that #1 seed. They win 500 euros. Mutual Makers not going home empty-handed, 75 points, which basically, if you look back at the previous record of EMS and how it's worked in other games, that should secure them a spot in the group stages as well, and 300 euros for themselves. Very well done by both these teams, and I'm really curious to see, with this structured format that we have, with the A-Series going on, which you guys at home can obviously participate in, with the Go for Battlefields happening every Sunday, which you can obviously play in and actually earn a spot into the cup from that. I hope to see the skill ceiling or the skill floor of this game kind of rise throughout all these games, throughout everyone playing against each other much more often. Yeah,
and that's exactly what happens. That's why I love these official tournaments, because in practice games, teams hold back strategies. They
don't take it as serious.
100%. Yoki in practices have beaten MYM and Fnatic, but when it comes down to the official games, gamers' connections bank them.
Yeah.
So, it really does change from game to game. And in the official games, that's when it all really matters. And that's what we're seeing now. Obviously it's not just for fun. There's money to be won, as you mentioned. And this could be in, week out. So guys, if you have enjoyed the show, do make sure you follow this Twitch page, because we'll be going live every week for a good long time now, around the same time pretty much for the next 4 weeks, I reckon. It's about 4 weeks.
Yeah.
Then we have the group stages, then we have the offline finals. There's going to be a hell of a lot going on. If you do like your Battlefield 4 action, if you do like it pretty damn good like it just was, make sure to give it a follow, as well as make sure you follow us on Twitter at They Call Me Pansy for myself, and obviously at Jay Kaplan for my lovely co-caster. But guys, that'll be it from us tonight. Hopefully you've had fun. Congratulations to Fnatic. You guys are showing exactly why you have that reputation. As well, MYM, you did do a pretty damn good job there. They showed what they're made of. They made it through to the grand finals, which is pretty impressive within itself. And guys, hopefully we'll be seeing you next week.